Find Miss Peterson, quick.
Yes, sir. Well, no,
Miss Peterson. Miss Peterson, they're back.
Good luck, Harriet.
I have a feeling we might need it on this one, Richard.
All stand.
Will the foreman of the jury please stand? Members of the jury, are you agreed upon your verdict?
Yes, sir.
And do you find the prisoner at the bar guilty or not guilty on the sole count in the indictment?
Not guilty.
And that is the verdict of you all?
Yes, sir.
Discharge the prisoner. Everybody stand, please.
That's the 5th case we've lost this month with Breeden instructing the defense.
6th time lucky, maybe.
That wasn't luck. That was perjury, intimidation of witnesses, subornation of evidence.
I think bad coppers make lousy losers.
Harriet, my dear, would you care to join me in an arsenic and tonic? It looks as if the judicial process is over for today.
No, thank you, Sir John. I agree, Superintendent Grover. I don't think the jury's verdict had anything to do with justice either.
Private opinions don't count, not in our job. Women, all the same.
You may not believe it, Sir John, but there are differences, and none of them give you the right to tell me how to think.
Perhaps we could have the pleasure of continuing this discussion in the privacy of the bar mess.
Sir John, can you spare a moment?
Oh, certainly, Chief Constable.
It's about that murder next week. What's the
It's a dirty business, criminal law.
It is the way you do it. Money. Anything for money.
Ah, now that's a motive I've never even tried to hide. When I win, I want more.
And he's had a very successful day.
Too bloody successful. He's getting greedy.
Call it greed, call it ambition. I know it gives you kicks, Grover. You're greedy, but for power. No, in your case, you call it dedication.
Why don't you go home and count your money? Time's running out. I should retire if I were
You
you.
won't stop me, not for all your threats, but I'll stop you one day. I know how you work. What do they call that place of yours? Gestapo headquarters, is it?
You can give these to your solicitor. My job's over.
Don't take any bets, Miss Peterson.
Oh, we've all got to live, I told him.
How much did he pay you, Ernie?
Oh, now, Mr. Breeden, do I ever ask you how much you charge?
Now, look, Ernie, you've been bringing me customers for, God knows how long now. You know what I charge down to the last decimalised halfpenny.
Oh, you're very cynical, Mr. Breeden. Do you know, I do find sometimes I have to tell my clients. You'll find Mr. Breeden very cynical, I tell him.
What do you want, Ernie?
Well, I've brought the witness, that's all, Joe Hardwell.
Well, bring him in then.
Ooh.
Oh, would you mind, Miss Sutton, please?
Yes, Mr. Breeden.
Are you sure she's straight?
Look, Judge, I'm sure you're a very good fixer. And when I want advice on how to run a solicitor's office, I shall know where to go for that, too.
Oh, no offence, Mr. Breeden, no offence. It's just that in my job, you have got to have a very good nose.
Yes, well, stick it elsewhere. No, come in, Hardwell. I've got your expenses for you. How much was it, Miss Sutton?
£15.
Then pay the gentleman, please, Miss Sutton.
And very well earned, too, I thought, eh, Mr. Breeden?
Yes, yes, indeed. Very well. Yes, very good. In fact, Joe, I thought I might add a bonus. You may keep the overalls.
Oh.
No, the overalls, very good touch, you know, Ernie. Very good. They added a little, something.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, there you are, Joe, and we'll be in touch. Joe, we lock that up at night in a very big safe.
There's just one other thing, Mr. Breeden.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, well, it is a trifle delicate.
Too delicate. Yes, well, Miss Sutton, oh dear. Miss Sutton, would you mind? It won't take long, and we do have that GBH to do.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Well, Ernie?
It's Barnett. He doesn't want to pay.
He won't pay your fixer's fee. That's choice. He must have got up very early in the morning to con the judge.
No, it's not my fee he doesn't want to pay, Mr. Breeden. It's yours.
That joker got value. He pays.
He's being very troublesome.
Then lean on him.
Well, I can't do that. I'm not a heavy, you know that, but by God, he is.
You know who to speak to. He'd have gone down if it hadn't been for me.
Well, he says that he saw £200 marked on Gallagher's papers, only 20 for the junior, and at 1,000 he thinks you're robbing him.
What does he think this is, a lucky dip? I put my reputation on the line with every case. I match my wits against hard men like the Grovers of this world. What does he know about counsel's fees?
Well, I think perhaps if you forgot
Bloody
the last
barristers, Gallagher, Queen's bleeding counsel. When he first came on the circuit, I could have bought him 4 times over. Oh, he was keen, he was bright. But what risk did he ever take? Every penny I paid him, whether he got paid or not.
Oh, I
You
know
should be
that.
there today. I got a mouthful of libel from Grover. What does Gallagher do about it? Get me an arsenic and tonic, says he. Barristers give me the bellyache. Mustn't touch this, mustn't do that. Anyone would think the solicitors have got the pox or something.
I still think perhaps if you let Barnett off that last 250, after all, you'll be clearing 750.
Look, Annie, he got off because I am clever and expensive. No one welshes on a deal with me.
Well, there'll be trouble, Mr. Breeden. I can smell it.
There'll be no trouble, Ernie, for you or for me, provided he pays.
I do not like it, Mr. Breeden.
If you do not like it, Ernie, you pay me.
You're responsible to me, Grover, for the success or failure of proceedings you bring.
You authorise this charge, sir?
On your advice.
I took counsel's advice, sir. She dropped the indictment.
Running a police force is not just a question of putting rubber stamps on other people's decisions. There are much wider implications.
I understand that, sir.
The citizens of this town are entitled to a dual protection, that criminals will be prosecuted and innocent people will not be.
I don't take law-abiding citizens into court.
What the Watch Committee want to know is why another innocent man was tried today while the crime rate's still soaring.
He was as guilty as hell.
They happen to think, Grover, that if people are acquitted, it's either because they're not guilty or because we're incompetent.
I've had a very quiet investigation proceeding informally for some time.
Without my knowledge?
Not without suspicion. Mr. Breeden's name has been appearing in far more cases of not guilty than it ought to have done.
I didn't want him in the golf club, but that was personal.
He gets a lot of his cases from Ernie Harris, a fixer. The judge, they call him.
And so?
Well, Harris gives them the spiel, nobody's any good except, and then he recommends Breeden.
And Breeden drops him a fiver. All highly irregular, I'm sure, but who cares?
Who pays Harris doesn't matter. What is important is how much money the criminal has got and how much he'll pay to be certain he gets off.
No one can be certain. What are you suggesting? That Breeden is some sort of confidence trickster? You could never prove it.
Well, I first got wind of it when I was waiting for a case to come on in the magistrate's court. I heard a man say, but watch it, witnesses cost extra. Then a little later, Breeden's name came up and the judge.
And you think the judge they were talking about was this man, Harris? I don't call that very conclusive.
Well, I went back through the files. I was looking for men who'd been defended by Breeden and convicted.
And I don't suppose you found many of them.
Oh, he's clever. Most of his work is straight. A lot of his clients plead guilty. I'm still digging. I've got 2 statements.
Statements? What do they say?
Breeden gave them a straight choice. An ordinary defense for 300. For 1,000, he would provide witnesses and guarantee acquittal.
He couldn't guarantee even his witnesses.
It was a money-back guarantee.
In writing?
I dug a little further, found a man called Barnett who'd got off but didn't like the deal. Take it or leave it, trust me.
I suppose you want to report Breeden to the Law Society.
I want to charge him with conspiracy.
Charge a solicitor with conspiracy for defending people?
Conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. I think I've got enough there for the Director of Public
Oh,
Prosecution.
I wonder if the director brought in.
Your decision, sir.
You haven't got enough.
There'll be more.
And until you have, I suggest you tighten up on organisation and routine and try and catch a few more of Breeden's clients. Leave that man alone. He could cause us a lot of trouble.
What do you think of the judge, Miss Sutton?
Bit of a rogue, but I suppose he's useful.
I doubt if the city recorder would exactly relish your description.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about...
Yeah.
About Ernie Harris.
Oh. Miss Sutton, keep out of Grover's way.
Grover?
Yes, he was going to make a pass at you the other day, when you brought that file into court for me.
I thought he was married.
So what?
Harriet, I'm frankly surprised. Ours is the coolest of all, John. Thank you. When I was younger, I used to say it really wouldn't make any difference if it were my mother in the witness box.
It would be hard to think of you as a mother's boy, John.
I got my very first brief from Charlie Breeden. 2 guineas. Case went on the whole day. I was going to frame that cheque, but it took 18 months to arrive.
Breeden's a criminal.
Bit harsh. But yes, I go along with that.
And why? Why carry on?
I don't owe anyone an explanation for taking Breeden's work. I don't use his methods. I prosecute or defend with absolute indifference.
Pontius Pilate?
You flatter me, Harriet. He was the judge. Ah, soup.
You couldn't have sat there all day without wondering if some of your witnesses were telling the truth.
How many times do you think your precious chief constable wonders the same thing?
He's a politician. I don't suppose it ever occurs to him.
Now, look, I can't go into court trying to work out whether a syllable is true or false. The courts would never get to a day's work.
Today it was a bit blatant.
1 day in 365. 40 years. 1 case in 1,000. What do you want me to do? Scream at the jury? My witnesses are accomplished liars?
We could try and stop him.
No one stops him. He's got too much power.
The circuit could refuse all further work from him.
90% of his cases are perfectly honest.
We could still do it.
Now, look, Breeden hands out thousands of pounds in counsel's fees every year, every month. There are plenty of silks to take my place.
You're slipping, John. Your modesty's showing.
You get people from other circuits.
Report him to the Law Society.
What for? No, Harriet, you won't stop him because you can't prove anything. It's the same when Grover's men tell lies.
So, Breeden goes on and on. Bigger and better defences, and we sit by and take all the briefs he hands out.
I didn't know you would ever work for Charlie Breeden.
I haven't. I've never had a brief from him.
That's why I wanted Miss Peterson here, at this stage, an unbiased judge.
Grover wants to charge Breeden with conspiracy.
Before I stand up and cheer, where's your evidence?
Here, 3 statements, watertight.
You don't know what you're doing, Grover. What the hell is conspiracy to pervert justice? It's almost a matter of opinion. I don't think any judge will like it.
Worried what the Watch Committee will say?
It'd be like sleeping on gunpowder every night.
I'll give you an honest opinion when I've read these.
Thank you, Harriet, but I need more insurance than that. A case as tricky as this really calls for Queen's Counsel. Gallagher should prosecute.
Then I'm out. I won't be led by him, not on this case.
We can't go to Sir John. He knows Breeden too well.
No, I don't think I believe that reason.
Nor do I.
There are others. Breeden hates women. He's had 3 marriages and 3 divorces. He'd like to be invited to a christening, but he doesn't know how to ask. If Miss Peterson prosecutes, he might just drop his guard, get overconfident, even careless.
I think he's crystal gazing. But I'd like to do it. My way.
No, miss, my way, please.
You too have a reputation, Superintendent, in some quarters unsavory.
You don't have to take the case.
That decision's out of your hands.
Sir.
To you, Harriet, this should just be another case. Win or lose. To Grover, it's personal, to settle old scores. If he loses, it's just another unfortunate statistic. But for me, it's different. If I authorize the prosecution of the biggest lawyer in town, and it all comes unstuck, so will I. They'll have my job.
Nobody could criticize you, sir, for prosecuting a man like Breeden.
Do you want me, Richard, or don't you?
Grover wants you for good reasons, but on bad conditions. If I thought we had a really good chance of winning...
This man is dangerous, sir.
Very well, but Miss Peterson's way or not at all.
I must have some control.
You produce the witnesses. She controls the case.
You'll be up against Gallagher. Breeden's bound to get him.
Sir John doesn't frighten me. In fact, I think I'd like to see him defend a man of whom he has such a high opinion. But you'll need more than these.
There is another witness. You may not think it very ethical.
Then I shall say so. I'm not allowed to see witnesses.
I think you should look at this one.
It's against the rules.
Detective Sergeant Jane Sutton. For the last 3 months, Breeden's confidential secretary.
Quite the prettiest policeman I've seen this month.
Unethical?
Disgusting methods of the gutter. I shall be very surprised if you're called as a witness, Miss Sutton. How do you do?
that for Thursday then, will you, sir? Not before 2 o'clock. Thank you.
These bleeding places give me the creeps.
You're an honest citizen now, Ernie. Square your shoulders, like I do. Look anyone in the face. Anyway, what is it?
What is it? That girl in your office. One of my clients recognised her.
Oh, really?
Really?
She talked a load of legal rubbish about the conduct of the case, but I won in the end. Arnold made a promise to call Sutton. Now listen, I want some decent verbals when we arrest these two jokers, right? You know me. I'm Superintendent Grover. This is Detective Sergeant Crawley. Charles Breeden, I have a warrant for your arrest on a charge of conspiracy. Ernest John Harris, I also have a warrant for your arrest on the same charge.
Oh, Christ. You've backed my office.
I must warn you both, you're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to.
Go round the bloody pen.
Please,
Just to
Mr.
finish you, you'll be out.
The verbals, Mr.
What are you puking all over the place for? He's an acting superintendent on the slide.
We have been
Look, I had
cautioned.
Grover's on toast for breakfast when I was an articled clerk.
Are you going to come peacefully, Mr. Breeden, or do I have to use force?
May I see the warrant? Both of them. Where are we going? Gestapo headquarters?
Just to the police station.
And you, from now on, keep your bloody mouth shut.
Well, it's a job.
You were bribed.
Only with money.
You told your clerk you didn't want the brief?
All I said was, I don't care if he is an old friend. I want a fair fee.
£2,000 for defending Breeden is a bribe.
You've been working too hard. You need a holiday.
You should be prosecuting.
Nobody asked me. I wonder how that happened.
You can hardly expect me to enlighten you.
Why do you think they chose you?
I know why.
You know, they told you.
I was there when they decided.
With a grandstand view of all the arguments. You were taken, Harriet.
You might not be so cool if you knew why they didn't choose you.
You've been used, conned. Your precious chief constable. Yes, and Grover. They both need a scapegoat. Insurance. Just in case I get him off.
Richard Arnold is one of my oldest friends.
Now, which you think he puts first, you or his job? If Breeden gets off, he'll be in trouble. And so will you.
It was Grover who wanted me, not Arnold.
Even better, he'll sack Grover too.
Maybe. He can't sack me.
Now, which police force of the circuit will employ you if you get the chief constable into boiling hot water and a superintendent the boot?
Doesn't it worry you that you were Breeden's first choice? If he's acquitted, I reckon you'll be top of the blacklist.
I begin to think you're frightened I might win.
Not with the evidence I've got.
Yes, you have me there. Still, at least we can agree on something.
You're pleading guilty?
Don't be silly, my dear. Still, I shall lose.
I'm not fooled so easily.
No, you've only got to look at the man. He looks like a criminal. I've seen it on the face of 1,000 jurors. Now, if he was only the defense solicitor on trial.
Make me sick. After taking money from him all these years, you're going to shop him.
Oh, don't worry. For £2,000, I shall put on quite a show.
You can do it with one glance. When you ask him that final question, have you ever conspired to pervert the course of justice? All it needs is a look, a hint of cynicism, and the jury will know.
This is a job just like any other profession. A surgeon can't be concerned with who is on the table, neither can I. My personal feelings will not affect the way I defend Breeden.
You'll take $2,000 for defending him and cheer when they send him to prison.
I might.
I shall watch every move you make, John, and if you put one word wrong, one glance...
Scotch?
If it's to do with your case, there is no chat.
Oh, of course not. Of course not.
It's a disciplinary charge, sent to prisoner on bail.
I know the rules. The first one is what will you take for it?
Who'd you get to ring me?
A contact.
If you've any information for the police, let me have it. If it checks out, someone will pay you.
Scotch, sir. Make it two, will you? Yes, well, it's to do with Breeden's client.
Come on, then, let's have it.
Well, that's all very well. What about me?
Give me the information, and I'll tell you what it's worth.
I don't want money.
Oh, don't play games with me, son.
Look, I can give you a nice little Christmas parcel, all full up with Breeden's clients.
What do you want, then?
I'll tell you.
I'm too old to do any more stir.
No.
I've been outside 10 years now. I've got 2 kids.
It's out of my hands.
You drop charges against me, I'll give you everything you want on Breeden.
You plead guilty. I'll ask the judge to take it easy. Then you give evidence against Breeden.
What? I can't do that. They'd know I'd grass, wouldn't they? They'd look after me when they're inside.
This is one charge I can't drop. Ask the judge to take it easy, that's all.
I can't do it, Mr. Grover.
Then go back in your little hole and stop squealing.
Put up Charles Breeden and Ernest John Harris.
I can't allow solicitors to run glorified protection rackets, so if it comes to a
We've
choice...
been over this a dozen times.
This prosecution must not fail. If there's any doubt, you must call Sutton.
Only if it's necessary.
Charles Breeden and Ernest John Harris. There is 1 count in the indictment against you. You are charged with conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. The particulars of the offence are...
It will take about 10 minutes to choose the jury, and then Miss Peterson will make the opening speech for the prosecution. Then one by one you'll be called in to give evidence. Now, when you've finished, you must stay in court. Now, you all know your stories, just stick to them. Any questions? I want a word with you, Sergeant.
Oh, if that's the way they're making sergeants nowadays.
Where did you get the dress?
Mark's, as you said.
Ah. Now, when you get in there, you can forget all this I was proceeding in a southerly direction bit. I want you to sound, well, just like any secretary.
If I ever get in the box.
You'll be called.
Mr. Barnett, at City Quarter Sessions in August 1968, were you acquitted on a charge of theft?
Yes, miss.
Who was your defence solicitor?
Mr. Breeden, over there.
How did you come to meet Breeden?
Well, Ernie Harris put me on to him.
Is that the other man in the dock?
Really, my lord, that is the most flagrantly leading question.
Do you see Ernie Harris anywhere in this courtroom?
It's too late to undo the damage now.
Please be more careful, Miss Peterson.
I'm sorry, my lord. Well, Barnett?
Yes, miss. That's him.
Was Harris an old friend?
Not really. Another bloke in the nick knew him as a fixer.
Not only is that answer hearsay and therefore inadmissible, but counts as plainly trying to introduce prejudicial material.
If my distinguished and learned friend would reserve his objections until at least the preliminaries are over.
Preliminaries, my eye.
Sir John.
My lord.
Miss Peterson, I have warned you once.
I had no idea the witness was going
I
to...
think we shall get on a lot better if you understand from the start that it's no part of the judge's function to interrupt counsel's speeches. And by the same token, I expect counsel to allow me the privilege of having my say, uninterrupted.
I apologize, my lord.
Just so. Please continue, but observe the rules of evidence.
Were you introduced to Breeden by Harris?
Yes, miss.
For a fee?
Don't lead the witness.
50 quid.
Who did you pay and for what?
Well, as I said, Ernie Harris is a fixer. I paid him £50 to fix me up with a solicitor. He got me Mr. Breeden.
Was Harris working for Breeden?
How could he possibly know the answer to that?
Did Harris say he was working for Breeden?
Don't think so.
Did Breeden say so?
No.
Satisfied?
Just follow the rules. I'm asking no favours.
Now, I want you to recall the first meeting you had with Breeden. Will you tell the jury what was said about money?
My lord, I shall be objecting to every witness who is asked questions about what went on between him and his solicitor.
The defense is about to address me on a point of law. You will retire, members of the jury.
The reasons for this is the rule of privilege, that what a citizen says to his lawyer cannot ever be used against him. Now, if this witness is allowed to testify against his own solicitor, it will be the wedge in the door. There's no knowing where such a step would lead, perhaps to the very collapse of our rule of law. The solicitor's duty of secrecy to his client is stronger in law than the sanctity of the confessional. Were it not so, no man could talk to his lawyer in safety. No solicitor could reply with candour.
What do you say to that, Miss Peterson?
The privilege is that of the client. The protection the law affords is for the client. The immunity is for the client. The law does not extend privilege to the solicitor for the good reason that he is not the person charged. If, however, the lawyer commits a crime while doing his normal work, he is as answerable for the consequences as any other citizen.
I entirely agree with you, Miss Peterson. You may carry on.
I'm much obliged, my lord. What fee did Breeden ask for?
300 or 1,000, take your pick.
What did that mean?
Well, for 300, I would just get a straight defence. He'd only call witnesses who really did have something to do with the job. He'd do his best with what I got, that's what he said.
And for £1,000?
Oh, I'd get something special for that. He'd provide witnesses, defence, the lot, sort of tailor-made. And a guarantee.
What sort of a guarantee?
Money back, if it didn't work.
All of it?
No, he'd keep 300, whatever happened.
Which deal did you go for?
With 1,000.
And what defence did he provide for that?
While I was playing poker, he found 3 blokes to say they were playing poker with me all night.
Yes.
I was to say they were called Fred and Joe. I was supposed to forget the name of the third one. The judge said it looked better like that.
The judge?
Oh, it's what they call him, Mr. Harris.
I see.
How did Harris come into it?
Well, he took me round to Mr. Breeden's offices. He went in to see the old man first, then I went in, and when I told him I was going to go for the 1,000, he called the judge back in again and started asking about likely prospects.
Did these poker players give evidence at your trial?
Yes, miss.
Had you ever seen any of them before the day of your trial?
No, miss.
Was their evidence true?
Pack of lies, miss.
What about your own evidence?
I don't wish to cause my friend any more embarrassment than she's already suffering, but it does seem to me that this witness should be warned before we go any further.
I take it you mean, Sir John, that if this witness were now to say that he lied on oath at his trial, that would be an admission of perjury.
Precisely, my lord.
Miss Peterson?
The Crown will give an undertaking not to prosecute. The point does not arise.
The police will compound a felony.
Since the Criminal Law Act 1967, that is no longer an offence.
And you think that excuses such conduct?
He's already been tried and acquitted. I don't think justice needs him to be tried again for something different.
Barnett wouldn't give evidence unless you give him a free ticket.
Sir John, if you have a submission to make, you will make it to me. I will not have counsel indulging in a verbal battle in my court.
My lord, the jury should not hear a succession of witnesses who will never be made to answer for what they say.
The witness is competent, his evidence is admissible, and highly relevant to the issue.
I agree, Miss Peterson. I see nothing objectionable in law in this witness giving evidence.
Was your own evidence true at your trial?
No, miss. No, I was dead guilty. Everybody knew that. But I'd done enough porridge. It was going to be my last job anyway.
Thank you,
know.
Mr. Barnett.
So that the jury can get a fair picture of your evidence. Barnett, you say your name is? I suppose that's true, isn't it?
Yes, mate, it is.
You're a self-confessed thief, perjurer, and liar. A thief, a perjurer, and a liar. That's what you are, yes? Answer the question!
I suppose so, yeah.
Let's try something a bit easier for you then.
Mr. Breeden tried to talk you out of a defence of an alibi, didn't he?
Well, that was his idea.
He said it was as old as the hills. No one will believe it.
No, I said that. He told me to shut up.
What Breeden actually said was, if you really were playing poker, don't let the prosecutor shake you in the box.
Well, it was like I said.
Breeden didn't invent a perjury defence, you did.
It was his idea.
As you owe Mr. Breeden money.
What, the other 250 you mean?
I'm not referring to any so-called 300 or mythical 1,000. I'm talking about the bill for £350 you received from Breeden after you were acquitted. A proper bill for your defence.
Look, he told me to forget all about that. He said that was for the bookkeeping or something. I mean, he already had the other 750.
In that case, you'll have a receipt, a cheque stub.
No, I paid him in fivers, old fivers, wasn't it? I mean, receipts, what's receipts a deal like that?
You're a liar and a thief! And you expect the jury to believe that you keep no record when you paid £750 to a solicitor? Do you ever tell the truth?
You say you paid Breeden £750?
Yes.
So you still owe him £250?
Yeah.
Is it right that you've been advised not to pay the £250?
Yes, miss.
That if Breeden wants it, you should let him sue you?
That's what I was told, yeah.
Has he sued you?
No.
For £250 or for £350 referred to by my learned friend?
No.
I wonder why. Thank you, Mr. Barnett.
Think they'll believe him?
It's anybody's guess.
I call Edward Atkin.
Under a street light. 3 coppers I knew like they was my own uncle. I got one of them in the crutch, the other one with me jemmy, and the third one, he fell over. I was off like muck off a shining shovel.
Shining? Does this case concern a shovel, Miss Peterson?
He means rather quickly, my lord.
Ah, the military expression.
What did Breeden say?
For 300 I'd have to take me chances. For 1,000 he'd fix it, so I got off.
And which did you choose?
Well, neither. I told him I'd have to go on legal aid.
Did you get legal aid?
Yes. I got 18 months, too.
Silence!
I want to get one thing straight for the benefit of the jury, Mr. Atkin. Have you been to prison more than once?
I've done so much bird miss, I'm sprouting feathers.
Was any inducement offered to you to give evidence here today?
Oh, no. I mean, if I'd seen Grover before he'd seen me, I'd have been off like... I'd be 1,000 miles away from here now.
How were you persuaded?
Oh, well, Mr. Grover has a way about him.
He threatened you?
Oh, no, miss, no. Just said I hadn't got no choice, that's all. He said all I got to do was tell the truth.
And have you told the truth?
Yes.
What was Mr. Breeden's reaction when you said you wanted legal aid?
Not bothered.
Mr. Breeden's firm regularly defends people on legal aid?
Oh, yes, a lot of my mates go to him. The other is just a sort of, it's a special service like.
Yes, indeed, a special service. You asked for the special service, didn't you?
No, I asked how much.
Mr. Breeden is well known for the thoroughness and expertise he will bring to bear on the right case.
Oh, too true.
Didn't he tell you that your only hope of acquittal was to employ leading and junior counsel involving long conferences and hiring expensive inquiry agents?
Well, he said he'd have to do that to make it look right.
Make what look right?
Well, the case. I don't know.
Exactly. You don't know. That about sums it up, doesn't it?
No, what I said is right.
All Breeden told you was that to prepare your defence properly would cost £1,000, including leading and junior counsel and inquiry agents.
No.
And even that was such a remote chance that the Legal Aid Fund would never allow such expense.
That's lies.
Have you got 6 previous convictions, all involving dishonesty?
Yes.
And did you plead not guilty every time?
Yes.
Did you go into the witness box?
I suppose so.
Answer yes or no. It's quite simple.
Yes, so what?
I'll tell you so what. 6 juries have found you to be a liar.
What are you going on for? He's admitted he's been inside.
72 honest citizens have found you to be a perjurer. The oath you took to tell the truth means nothing to you, isn't that right?
No.
You were innocent? Every jury was wrong about you?
Yes.
Tell me this then, and take your time about answering. If the jury really discovers the truth about your evidence today, which way do you say they should find, guilty or not guilty?
My lord, that is a most improper question. The witness is not a lawyer. He is not in the dock. It's not his guilt or innocence. The jury is here to try.
I agree with you, Miss Peterson, but for what it's worth, the question seems admissible.
Miss Peterson should have given you enough time to work out the answer by now.
Not guilty.
Well done, Atkin. You've got it wrong for a 7th time.
All very amusing, I'm sure, but can we get back to the trial? Have you told the truth today?
Yes, miss.
That's all the jury wants to know.
Oh, don't let it stop there. Put it right, for God's sake, put it right.
And no further questions, my lord?
We've lost. She's thrown it away.
Oh, there's still Sutton. And wait till Breeden takes the stand.
Well, the rate we're going on, he won't have to. He'll win on a submission of no case.
So it's all up to Jane Sutton.
I call Detective Sergeant Jane Sutton.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Are you Jane Sutton?
Yes.
Are you a detective sergeant of police, and are you on temporary attachment to the city police in this town?
I am.
Will you tell my lord and the jury what job you were doing for the first 3 months of this year?
I was private secretary to the man in the dock, Charles Breeden.
This is it. This is what'll fix him.
My lord, I'm objecting to the evidence of this witness.
Do you wish the jury to leave? Yes, Sir John.
You, my lord, my friend, and I have all read the deposition of this witness. Only the jury has not heard what she is prepared to say. That is right and proper. In England, juries try cases only on the evidence of their own eyes and ears. Now, here in this courtroom, you, my lord, have to decide whether witnesses who are available to give evidence should be allowed to do so. In making that decision, you are guided by the rules of evidence and by the rule of natural law.
You are not addressing the jury. Which are you relying on?
Justice, my lord, natural justice. Sergeant Sutton was imported from a neighboring county, carefully briefed and skillfully and treacherously, there's no other word for it, planted as an agent provocateur with an officer of this court. Yes, my lord, a solicitor, an officer of the Supreme Court. Now, if her evidence is to be believed, she has quite voluntarily taken a decisive part in acts which the Crown says constitute the crime of conspiracy when committed by the defendants. She is at best an accomplice. At worst, she represents a threat to natural justice which no court should countenance.
There are some crimes, my lord, which threaten the very fabric of our society, which are contrary to all the laws of natural justice. When those crimes are committed by lawyers, the only way they can be caught is by the methods they themselves employ. The jury is quite capable of deciding whether this witness tells the truth. That is all that matters.
She could have done better than that.
He's that sort of judge.
I don't know who was responsible for the decision to place a detective sergeant of police in the disguise of a confidential secretary in a solicitor's office. That decision was wrong in principle. It was dishonest. I shall not ask who decided that this witness should be called to give evidence. I call that disgraceful. I can only hope that it was not a member of the legal profession. Miss Peterson's argument is that of expediency. It is no more right today than it was at the time of Adolf Hitler. But I know of no authority which says that I can prevent the jury from hearing this witness.
My lord, I decided this witness should be called.
I am not interested in your excuses.
Question my principles. You say publicly I can't tell right from wrong. I shall answer you, my lord, publicly. I have the conduct of this case. I insisted it should be done my way.
I shall adjourn this court for a brief period. Both counsel will see me in my room.
What now?
Trouble. And for her, serious trouble.
And let me add, you will never address me like that again. I speak as one of Her Majesty's judges. That office deserves respect.
Judge, I don't know what to say.
Try saying sorry.
You, Sir John, have been indulging in personal polemics to a degree that I find distasteful and surprising in a man of your seniority. I shall say no more. The matter is closed. Now, Harriet, what got you so almighty steamed up?
I've never had such a tongue lashing. You can't use words like disgraceful and dishonest and expect me to sit still.
That's what you're paid for.
You should have known that wasn't for you. It was intended for the police.
Didn't sound like it.
But you must have known they wanted Sutton as a witness before you accepted the brief. You should have sent it back.
However big the fee.
I thought there was enough evidence without calling Sutton.
And you were wrong. Well, what are you going to do now?
Did you mean what you said? Disgraceful, dishonest?
I'm not in the habit of using words that I don't mean.
It's my decision.
Yes.
I agree, the police methods were wrong. But Breeden's were worse. I was prepared in the last resort to call Sutton. It seemed the only way. But you say that's expediency, that I'm poisoning the very system I'm trying to protect.
You see everything in capital letters, Harriet, and always at the most awkward moment. Get on with the case. Let the Home Office deal with the police afterwards. Well, I'm sure this is all very interesting, but I've got a long list. Raymond!
I tell you, she's going to withdraw Sutton from the box.
Never.
I know it.
She's too professional.
She's a woman.
She's a barrister.
Well, take the brief away.
No cause. Anyway, it's too late.
Brief someone else, anyone.
Someone who doesn't know the case, it would only make things worse.
Well, what could be worse than losing?
I've known Harriet Peterson.
I want to be quite clear about your instructions, Richard.
You have the statement of Detective Sergeant Sutton. I want the jury to hear her evidence.
And if I refuse?
2 men who ought to go to prison and whose prosecution I authorized on Grover's work and your advice will go free. That means Grover will be in trouble, I'll be in trouble, but I think you will be in worse trouble than both of us put together with the Watch Committee.
I see.
But what are you going to do?
The judge.
I rule that the evidence of this witness is admissible. I reject your submission, Sir John. Please proceed, Miss Peterson.
No questions, my lord. Thank you, Miss Sutton. My lord, my last witness is evidence of arrest. I call...
And finally, I must direct you as a matter of law to ignore Detective Sergeant Sutton. The only evidence she gave was her name and occupation, and that will not assist you to reach a decision. You will not, I repeat, you will not speculate as to what her evidence might or might not have been. You will not speculate as to how that evidence might or might not have affected your verdict. Members of the jury, you will now retire to consider your verdict.
Do you find the prisoner Charles Breeden guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
And do you find the prisoner Ernest John Harris guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
And are those the verdicts of you all?
Yes, sir.
I ask for an order for costs against prosecution.
I think I must exercise my discretion in this case. I will award £200 to each defendant. Let the prisoners be released.
Everybody stand, please.
What we do about Miss Peterson now is a political decision. But I want your views, Sir John, as a senior member of the circuit.
You can't give the conduct of a case to counsel and complain because she insists on conducting it.
Tell that to all the villains. Every thief and thug in this town has got a ticket to freedom. All he needs to do is to go to Breeden's cash desk.
What do you want to do, Chief Constable?
What are the alternatives?
There's the Bar Council.
She must be disciplined, and publicly, if I'm to stand any chance of restoring law and order in this town.
She might be disbarred.
I bloody well hope so.
They may say she merely did what was right.
Then I must do what's right. The Watch Committee will demand it. She gave me her word she'd call Sutton. She took the brief on that promise. She broke faith. With me and with the people of this town. The consequences will mean months, years of work for the police. I have no choice. I must lay a formal complaint at the highest level.
I have been followed ever since. Well, a gentleman in your position could complain. I have. I'll tell you what. Let's make something happen. Now, there's 2 fellas coming up
My
next
advice
week.
to you, Ernie, is to keep the head down. I don't think the firing has stopped yet.
I heard you were here.
Oh. Well, I think I'll be off.
That would be nice. I suppose you think it's all over.
Don't you ever get tired of falling down?
I'm going to tell you a little secret.
I've reported you to the Home Office.
What went on at the Watch Committee the other day? They had a full transcript of the trial.
didn't know they could read.
Very impressed they were. They think you're a very naughty man.
Now, I am writing something that you might call a transcript. It's the juicy bits about policemen from my files. I'm thinking of calling it Grover's End.
They've given me the lot. Just one condition. Put Breeden away this time. I've got men, facilities.
Manpower, facilities, money, computers, all this just to catch one man. And as though that weren't enough, you send your policemen to school so that they learn to make it stick in court.
Oh, you've forgotten the presumption of innocence. It's all on the villain's side all the time.
And what does society give him to establish his innocence, Me. Ernie Harris, and me.
And the jury, and justice. The public's entitled to protection.
The public are entitled to protection from you. Don't complain about my methods. I learnt them all from men like you.
I'll see you in court, as they say.
Same time, same place. Oh, Grover. Same result.
I'm here because of a complaint by a chief officer of police that I behaved unprofessionally in refusing to obey instructions properly given to me, and that thereby 2 men guilty of a serious crime escaped punishment and will be encouraged to commit further crimes. You've read the transcript of the trial. I submit that up to the time I called Detective Sergeant Sutton, there was no question of misconduct. I then refused to question the witness. You've read her statement. If the jury had heard her evidence, in my view, Breeden would have gone to prison. Society would have been rid of his corrupt practices if I had carried out my orders. The trial judge spoke of Adolf Hitler. I did not enjoy being likened to those who carried out his orders. I'm not a machine to have instructions fed in one end and reproduced copperplate the other. I'm a human being trained to be part of the best judicial system the world has known. What I do in my job helps mold, change, improve that system. When a judge tells me that what I'm doing is disgraceful and dishonest, what am I supposed to do? Say it to myself 3 times quickly and hope the cock doesn't crow? You've read the words the judge used in his report to you. Mistaken, under pressure, headstrong, and so on. Those are excuses. And I'm not offering excuses today. I'm not joining the Quality of Mercy Brigade. The decision was mine. I did what I thought was right. If that was misconduct, then I must take the consequences.